Every time a man speaks up about men's issues, it feels like he's one comment away from being labeled toxic, insecure, or part of the incel crowd. Meanwhile, when women talk about women's issues, it gets labeled as empowering, brave, progressive. Why is that though? Why is one seen as advocacy and the other is seen as aggression? Don't get me wrong, you don't have to agree with every single thing men's activists say. I don't. But it's wild to me how fast it all gets shut down, even when the issues that are being raised are real. Now, like I say in all my videos, I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy with something on his mind. And today, what's on my mind is how it feels like stepping on a landmine every single time a man brings up an issue or a problem that we're having. So let's talk about it. Let's be honest. Usually the loudest voices are the most extreme. Guys like Andrew Tate have built whole platforms off of rage and dominance. And yeah, some people eat that up, but that's not most men. Most guys I know are just trying to figure out how to be good fathers, how to be good spouses or be heard in a relationship, how to carry their weight in this world without losing themselves. But no one hears from them because they're not yelling. They're not on the internet yelling and making videos. They're too busy quietly grinding through life, trying to do what they need to do day to day to survive and so that their family survives and has the best life possible. But when those men do speak up, they're told to shut up or man up. Their voices are not heard and their problems are not validated. Generally speaking, it's like the world turns a mirror and says, you are the problem, man. You need to change. You need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You'll get no sympathy here. So yeah, it's no wonder that some men are pulled towards those loud voices because they're so loud, they're the only ones being heard. But we're not saying that that's the message that we want sent. We're not saying that we want the Andrew Tates of the world to be the only ones being heard and representing male issues. The truth is, men are hurting, but they're being told they're not allowed to hurt. Their pain isn't valid. Their problems that they're having are insignificant. We're all walking around through life with the responsibilities of protectors, but the label of predators. If someone pulls out a knife on a subway and you expect me to step up and put my life on the line, then you better listen to my problems. And you better not call me a predator. Male suicide rates are through the roof and climbing. Hey everyone, pardon the interruption. I'll get right back to the video in just a second. But while I have your attention, please, if you like these videos, subscribe because I drop one every single week. I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm like 50 subscribers away. So I really appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Back to the video. Family courts are stacked against men in a way that makes some men feel disposable, or like a walking wallet. Therapy is still seen by some as weak. It is a stigma, it's real, I'll acknowledge that. A lot of men look down on going to therapy. I will say though, the stigma is changing. However, I believe therapy needs to change some too, because in a lot of cases, the model for therapy is to talk about a problem over and over and over again without offering any solutions. That's just not how men work. We don't ruminate and we don't perseverate. We look for the problem, we identify the problem, and we're looking for solutions. So yes, when we go to therapy, we want to vent, we want to be heard, but we want to walk out of there feeling like we have some solutions and something to work towards, steps of action to fix whatever problem we're going to therapy for. So I'm hopeful that that changes. I'm hopeful that more men go to therapy if they need therapy, especially like PTSD sufferers and law enforcement officers and people that have had a lot of trauma in their life. I hope they go to therapy. So try being a young man these days and figuring out your identity. You have one half of society that points a finger at you and says, you are all the problems that's wrong with the world. And then the other side is nothing but anger, ego, and dominance. These aren't fringe concerns. These are real life problems, real lives unraveling slowly, silently. Suicide rate going up. Not because men are dangerous. It's because we're lost. We don't know where it's safe to be honest anymore. Now, here's the part that doesn't sit right with me. Feminist movements have their extremes too. People that spout horrible, hateful things about men. But those people aren't being held up as the face of the entire movement. No one says feminism is toxic because of that person and what they said. But with men, the second someone mentions men's rights, people immediately picture the worst parts of the internet. But why? Why do we judge one movement by its best intentions and the other movement by its worst actors. That's not equality. That's control disguised as moral high ground. We need to take back the middle ground. Men should be able to advocate for themselves just like women advocate for themselves without being mocked or labeled. You can absolutely care about men and men's problems without being anti-woman. You can absolutely want better treatment for fathers or more advocacy for men's mental health without being some bitter internet troll. There's strength in being open and honest and owning your struggle, owning it, acknowledging it, and still showing up every single day. And we need male spaces where we can talk about that, where we can be both tough and truthful with each other. Not perfect, just real. This isn't a war between men and women. It's about making room for men to exist in more than just two places, angry or silent. If you're a guy who's been told to suck it up one too many times, or a guy who's trying to grow but keeps being judged for caring, you're not alone. Keep showing up. Keep speaking up. And don't let anybody shame you out of becoming the man you're trying to be, the man you want to be, even if the world doesn't know what to do with that kind of man yet. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Seth. Again, if you got something out of this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel out a lot. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from your experiences, trying to build a community here. So please drop a comment. Let's engage. Let's start a conversation and see if we can help each other out. And after that, go ahead, watch one of these videos over here because I'm sure it'll be right up your alley. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.